Hello everyone, and welcome back to the lecture of business studies, or you can say business finance. Here we have completed a bit and chunks of banking and finance. So, whatever topics we have completed, let me give you an overview of the same. First of all, we have completed or understood what is bank. Okay, exactly the meaning of the bank, and then we have also gone through the history of the bank. We have understood like what was the first bank in the world, what was the first bank in India, which was the first modern bank of India. So that all we have covered. After that, we went on to understanding the various features of the bank as well as the functions of the bank. If you remember, or if you have seen the previous videos, functions of banks can be classified into the primary functions and the secondary functions, or you can say the utility functions. After the functions, we have started with various types of banks. In types of banks, we have understood at least 6 to 7 kinds of banks, that is scheduled bank, non-scheduled bank, commercial bank, cooperative bank, public bank, private bank. So we have completed 6 different types of bank, and today we'll be moving forward with the next type of bank, that would be foreign banks, industrial banks, and so on. So let's start this video lecture. But if you are watching this video for the first time, I request you to watch the entire playlist. The link of the playlist will be provided in the description box below, as well as it would be on the top right corner of your screen. I can just show it to you here. If you point your cursor to the eye, that is what I have drawn on the screen right now, the red color eye. So if you point the screen, if you point your cursor towards the right side, the top right corner, you will find the entire playlist in English of banking and financial institutions. So if you have missed certain lectures, what you can do is you can go and review all those, just you can say go through all those lectures, so that if there are any doubts or problems or issues, that could be solved. Let's start with today's topic, that would be foreign banks and industrial bank. As the name suggests, foreign bank means a bank which was not introduced or which was not started in India, but right now is existent in India, just like foreign companies in India. So here the incorporation of foreign bank has been done in the foreign country. One of the examples could be HSBC. HSBC is Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation. So that is related to the Hong Kong and Shanghai. So it is not an Indian bank, but it still operates in India. How come? Because they came to India, they started doing business in India. So foreign bank means the banks which has been started or incorporated outside India, but right now they have functions, they have branches, they have their offices in India, and they operate in India, that are called as foreign banks. Each individual has equal shares in the banks. No, this you can just strike it off. No, this is not true. Because these are usually private banks, so it depends upon the shareholding of the person, so you can just strike it off. The affairs of the banks is managed by the shareholders. That is absolutely true. I think this has been copied with the cooperative banks, so you can strike off the 4th point also. I'm really sorry about this, but you can strike out the 4th point also. The correct points related to these banks are the point number 1 and the point number 2. Foreign banks are such banks which are incorporated outside India, which are doing business in India. They have profit motive, they want to serve a particular community or a particular persons. They want to have a good relations with our country, and they want to do business. Profit would be the main motive, and the entire banking is regulated by the shareholders. But yes, they have to follow the rules given by the RBI and the government of India, because they are operating in India. Okay, so that they have to follow. The next is industrial bank. It refers to those banks which provide long-term and medium term loans to industries and work for their development. So industrial banks basically focus on those institutions, those companies, those businesses who do production process or service providing process. They want to they want to boost industrialization, they want to help the industries in India. So that would be the major part of industrial banks or the work of the industrial banks. These banks also act as underwriters to the company. If you have known or if you have studied about underwriters, underwriters are those people who help during the IPO, initial public offer, and FPO. Whenever the company issues shares to general public, the company is not very sure that all the shares are going to sell out. In case of shortage, in case of people don't buy the shares, they have to withdraw all the thing and they have to do it again. So it is a very tedious, very long process, and it involves cost and time. So what they do is, when they issue shares and when the company is not sure that my shares are going to sell or have minimum you can say subscription of 90% by the Companies Act which is given, so what they do is they hire underwriters. Underwriters are those people who take the risk. Like suppose if I am the underwriter, what will I do? I will ensure the company that suppose if 50% of your shares are unsold, nobody has purchased your shares, I'll take the guarantee, I will purchase those shares in case of non-selling. So that is underwriters. If you don't know anything about it, make sure you Google it a bit or do a research, because this is an important point in shares and financial sectors, where you need to know what are underwriters, what are non-banking financial institutions, what are their functions, what do they do, how are they differentiated from each other. Like bank is a completely different concept, NBFC, non-banking financial companies, is a completely different concept. You cannot mix both together. So in this particular case, you need to understand what are underwriters, what are the various types of underwriters, who can act as an underwriter, what are the duties, responsibilities and rights of underwriters. So make sure you have a deeper understanding of this, so that you understand this particular point in a detailed manner. So bank sometimes, especially industrial bank if I'm talking about, they act as underwriters for the company, where they take the risk of purchasing the shares in case of non-selling. Earning profit is the main objective of these banks, yes, because they are promoting industrial activities, they are promoting the production process, the service sector. They need money, they need profit. For that only they are working. So we have understood what are foreign banks, what are industrial banks. Let's go to the next point, that is agriculture banks. Agriculture banks are those banks whose main function or main working area would be with agriculture people, would be with farmers, with all those people who are involved in agriculture sector. So what is the main objective of an agriculture bank? To promote agriculture activities. In the same way, if I talk about industrial bank, then to promote industrial activities. So here by the name alone, you'll be able to differentiate between the two banks very easily. Suppose if I talk about corporate banks, your cooperative banks are those banks which are initiated or started by a group of people for mutual help. So that is cooperative bank. But when I talk about commercial or industrial bank, these banks are usually helping business class people or those people who are involved in business activities, profit making activities, service activities, etc. But what if I talk about agriculture banks? Agriculture banks are those banks which are directly or indirectly involved in agriculture or supporting the agriculture field. So here these banks these banks gives credit to agriculture sector. So here the main focus or the main working area of these banks is with agriculture sector. Loans are provided to farmers to purchase seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, farming equipments, etc. They are mainly the backbone of the entire agriculture sector, and they help agriculture sector by providing them loans, by providing them credit, by providing them banking services to the most remote part of India. These are called agriculture banks. There can be n number of examples for this. The next is indigenous banks. Indigenous banks is a very interesting kind of banks, and you might have seen this in the movie Mother India. If you have seen the movie Mother India, I must suggest you that that was one of the greatest movie of all times. If you have seen this movie, or if you are just going to see the movie, there is a particular character in the movie called Lala. He acts as a person who is a baniya or mahajan. They are usually called by these names. They are, or they were, those people who used to provide loans or give loans to farmers. They used to exploit the farmers because they were uneducated, they did not understand the calculation, so they used to charge high interest rate, or sometimes they used to confuse the farmers with the numbers. So that is one of the ways they have exploited, and the reputation of these kind of banks is not very good. But still, these acted as a bank in the past. They are still existent in very remote parts of India and in the world as well. So what is indigenous bank? Indigenous bank is founded basically in India. Baniya, Mahajan, etc. are the lenders who provide loans to farmers and other people at high interest rate. These bankers are also responsible for the exploitation of various village people who are illiterate and could not understand the interest calculation. So this was actually originated in India. This is still existence at the remotest part of India, where banking services are not available, or people are not aware enough, people are not literate, people don't have knowledge. These things still go on the remote part. Okay. So sorry, I just got off track. Now moving forward, unit banking and branch banking, and we have certain new kinds of banks, that could be payments bank and small finance banks. This what we are going to learn in the next lecture. So if you're interested, you can just subscribe to my channel and get updated with all the lectures. If you still have any doubts, you can of course mention in the comment section. I'll come up with the solutions of the same. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next lecture. Bye everyone.